As the annals of Tamrielic history unfurl, the dawn of the Third Era marked a pivotal moment in the continent's narrative. With the ascension of Tiber Septim to the imperial throne, an era of unprecedented unity commenced, bringing an end to the tumultuous conflicts and power struggles that had marred the preceding years. Year 1 of the Third Era heralded the rise of the Septim dynasty, a lineage that would shape the course of Tamriel for centuries to come. In the intricate web of political maneuvering, Morrowind emerged as a focal point of imperial control. Tiber Septim's establishment of a centralized monarchy within the province paved the way for a new era of governance. In the 6th year of the Third Era, King Athen Lethlin was anointed to rule over Morrowind, his authority extending as the Duke of Mournhold. Revered as the grace of all gods, King Athen Lethlin embodied the virtues of loyalty and service to both the Emperor and the Empire. As the realm of knowledge expanded, the year 12 of the Third Era witnessed the publication of the seminal work, Encyclopedia Tamrielica. This compendium of lore and wisdom provided scholars and enthusiasts alike with a comprehensive understanding of Tamriel's rich tapestry of cultures and histories. Meanwhile, in the sand-swept city-state of Rihad, Destri Melarg was born, destined to become a luminary in the study of Redguard heritage. The passing of Emperor Tiber Septim in the 38th year of the Third Era marked the end of an era, plunging the empire into a period of mourning and uncertainty. His grandson, Pelagius, ascended to the imperial throne amidst whispers of prophecy and destiny. Meanwhile, Destri Melarg embarked on a journey of scholarly pursuits, immersing himself in the vibrant tapestry of cultures that thrived within the imperial city. However, the tranquility of the empire was shattered by the assassin's blade in the 41st year of the Third Era. Emperor Pelagius fell victim to the machinations of the Dark Brotherhood, leaving a void of leadership in his wake. In a bid to restore stability, Pelagius's first cousin, once removed, Kintyra, was crowned empress, ushering in an era of prosperity and cultural renaissance. Yet, the wheel of fate continued to turn, and in the year 48, Empress Kintyra's reign came to an untimely end, paving the way for her son, Uriel Thirst, to ascend to the throne. As the line of succession unfolded, the birth of Prince Antiochus in the 55th year of the Third Era signaled the dawn of a new generation. Yet, amidst the royal courtly intrigue, tales of romance and heroism continued to captivate the hearts and minds of Tamriel's denizens. In the autumn of the 63rd year, Prince Pelagius embarked on a quest to Camelon, where he encountered the enchanting Princess Quintilla. Together, they faced a perilous threat, forging a bond that would shape the destiny of their lineage for generations to come. Amidst the shifting sands of political intrigue, the passing of Emperor Uriel I in the 64th year of the Third Era marked the beginning of a tumultuous reign under his successor, Uriel II. Tragically, Uriel II's rule was marred by blights, plagues, and insurrections, leaving the empire in a state of turmoil. Yet, amidst the chaos, the seeds of future rulership were sown as Potima, the future Queen of Solitude, entered the world. As the Third Era unfolded, the destinies of empires and individuals intertwined, weaving a tapestry of intrigue and ambition. From the corridors of power to the humble streets of Tamriel, the echoes of history reverberated, shaping the fate of a continent poised on the brink of change. And amidst the chaos and upheaval, the legacy of the Septim dynasty endured, a beacon of hope amidst the encroaching shadows of uncertainty. As the Third Era unfolded, the realm of Tamriel found itself embroiled in the throes of conflict and upheaval. In the year 110, the War of the Isle erupted, threatening to engulf the Somerset Isles in the clutches of the Merrimer, the Sea Elves. Despite the formidable might of the Merrimer, an alliance of Somerset kings, bolstered by the support of Antiochus, managed to stave off the encroaching threat. The tide of battle turned unexpectedly with the intervention of a freak storm, later attributed to the enigmatic Sigic order, altering the course of history in favor of the alliance. In the wake of victory, the year 111 witnessed the founding of the Knights of the Nine, a legendary order forged in the crucible of conflict. Led by the valiant Sir Arniel Lannis, a hero of the War of the Isle, the Order embarked on a quest to retrieve the relics of Pelennor Whitestrake, revered artifacts steeped in myth and legend. Their noble endeavors would shape the destiny of Tamriel in the years to come. Amidst the turmoil of war, the year 119 heralded the birth of Pelagius III, scion of Magnus Septim, and heir to a legacy steeped in imperial glory. Yet, even as the empire stood on the precipice of change, internal strife threatened to tear the fabric of its rulership asunder. In the year 120, the passing of Emperor Antiochus cast a shadow of uncertainty over the imperial court, paving the way for his daughter, Empress Kintyra II, to ascend to the throne. However, the corridors of power resonated with intrigue and betrayal as Queen Potima seized upon the opportunity to challenge Kintyra II's legitimacy. In a bold bid for power, Potima delivered a scathing indictment of the Empress's reign, casting doubt upon her lineage and competence to rule. Yet, despite the tumultuous accusations, Kintyra II's coronation proceeded as planned, leaving Potima and her supporters to plot their next move in the shadows. In the year 121, the stage was set for rebellion as Uriel III, fueled by Potima's machinations, marshaled his forces to challenge the imperial throne. With the support of disgruntled nobles from High Rock, Skyrim, and Morrowind, Uriel III launched a series of coordinated attacks, plunging Tamriel into the depths of civil war. Thus, the War of the Red Diamond was born, a conflict that would test the very foundations of imperial authority. As battles raged and loyalties wavered, the fate of the empire hung in the balance. In the year 123, Empress Kintyra II met a tragic end, her demise shrouded in secrecy and shadow. Meanwhile, Uriel III seized control of the imperial city, proclaiming himself Emperor Uriel Septim III and igniting the flames of rebellion across the continent. Yet amidst the chaos of war, treachery lurked in the shadows. In the year 127, Uriel III's reign came to a brutal end at the Battle of Ikdag, his demise heralding the ascension of Emperor Sephiroth I to the imperial throne. Under Sephiroth's rule, Tamriel descended further into turmoil, as the fires of conflict continued to consume the land. In the aftermath of war, the once proud Knights of the Nine disbanded, their ranks decimated by the ravages of battle. Meanwhile, the death of renowned historian Deathstream Allag left a void in the annals of scholarship. His unfinished works a testament to the turmoil of the times. Amidst the chaos and upheaval, the year 134 witnessed the emergence of the East Empire Trading Company, a symbol of Tamriel's resilience in the face of adversity. Yet, even as commerce flourished, the specter of war loomed large on the horizon, casting a shadow of uncertainty over the continent. In the year 137, the War of the Red Diamond reached its climax, culminating in the fall of Pedima, the Wolf Queen of Solitude. With her demise, Emperor Sephiroth's grip on power tightened, his rule marked by strife and conflict. Yet, amidst the turmoil of imperial politics, personal tragedies unfolded. In the year 140, Emperor Sephiroth's untimely death paved the way for the ascension of his brother, Emperor Magnus Septim, to the throne. Meanwhile, Pelagius III, son of Magnus, embarked on a tumultuous reign marked by madness and intrigue. As the Third Era drew to a close, the legacy of the Septim dynasty hung in the balance, its fate uncertain amidst the swirling currents of history. And amidst the chaos of war and politics, the people of Tamriel stood poised on the brink of a new era, their destinies intertwined with the ebb and flow of imperial power. In the year 150 of the Third Era, a traveler's account marks the last sighting of Sir Arnie Orlanius, the esteemed founder of the Knights of the Nine, dwelling in solitude within the hallowed confines of the Priory of the Nine. Concurrently, the annals of history record the epic siege of Abenart in Morrowind, a harrowing conflict that saw Rangadil, commander of the revered Temple Ordinators, leading his forces against the sinister machinations of the Sixth House. The clash between the Ordinators and the buoyant armatures against the malevolent forces of the Sixth House would etch itself into the annals of Morrowind's lore for generations to come. In the year 153, The realm mourned the passing of Pelagius the Mad, whose tragic demise at the tender age of 34 cast a somber pall over the imperial court. Meanwhile, amidst the whispers of intrigue and political maneuvering, Empress Kataria ascended to the throne, marking the dawn of a new era in Tamriel's storied history. Kataria's reign, spanning 46 years, would be remembered as a golden age of prosperity and enlightenment, as she tirelessly traversed the length and breadth of the empire, weaving the frayed strands of diplomacy and alliance back together. Amidst the tapestry of Kataria's rule, the enigmatic Sir Arni Orlanius met his demise in the pursuit of ancient relics, his valiant quest coming to a tragic end within the shadowed halls of the Shrine of the Crusader. Meanwhile, the venerable Rengadil Cadil, commander of the Ordinators, breathed his last breath at the venerable age of 288, leaving behind a legacy of valor and steadfast devotion to the temple. As the Third Era ventured into its third century, the passing of Empress Kataria marked the beginning of a new chapter in Tamriel's saga. The mantle of imperial authority fell upon her son, Cassander, whose ascension to the throne ushered in an era of uncertainty and unrest. Yet even as the empire grappled with internal strife, the specter of external threats loomed large on the horizon, casting a shadow of doubt over the stability of imperial rule. In the year 200, the realm bore witness to the rise of Emperor Uriel IV, whose reign would be marred by discord and dissension. Uriel IV's faltering leadership would pave the way for a succession of crises, as the empire teetered on the brink of collapse under the weight of internal strife and external aggression. In the tumultuous aftermath of Uriel IV's reign, the imperial throne passed to Emperor Sepphoris II, whose accession to power marked the beginning of a new era of stability and prosperity. Yet, even as Sepphoris II sought to consolidate his authority, the legacy of his predecessor's misrule continued to haunt the empire, casting a long shadow over its future. Meanwhile, in the distant reaches of Valenwood, the seeds of rebellion were sown as the Camoran usurper embarked on a campaign of conquest and subjugation. Led by the enigmatic Haemon Cameron, the usurper's forces swept across the continent, leaving death and destruction in their wake. In the year 267, the usurper's reign of terror came to a climactic end as Baron Othrock and his allies rallied to repel the invaders, culminating in the decisive Battle of Firewaves. The usurper's defeat marked a turning point in Tamriel's history, as the empire emerged from the crucible of conflict stronger and more unified than ever before. Amidst the chaos of war, the year 268 witnessed the ascension of Emperor Uriel Septim V to the imperial throne. Eager to restore the empire's tarnished reputation, Uriel V embarked on a bold campaign of expansion, seeking to extend the empire's reach to the distant shores of Akavir. In the year 285, the birth of Uriel Septim VI heralded a new era of promise and possibility for the empire. Yet, even as the realm celebrated the arrival of a new heir, dark clouds gathered on the horizon, threatening to engulf Tamriel in the fires of conflict once more. In the year 288, Emperor Uriel Septim V's ill-fated invasion of Akavir ended in disaster, as the emperor fell on the battlefield, leaving his young son to inherit the mantle of imperial authority. As Uriel Septim VI ascended to the throne, the empire stood at a crossroads, its future hanging in the balance as it navigated the treacherous currents of history. As the 4th century of the Third Era dawned, Emperor Uriel Septim VI embarked on a quest to solidify his hold on power, navigating the treacherous waters of imperial politics with cunning and guile. Yet, even as the empire stood on the brink of a new era of prosperity, dark forces conspired in the shadows, threatening to plunge Tamriel into chaos once more. In the year 320 of the Third Era, tragedy struck the Septim dynasty, as Emperor Septim VI met his demise in a fateful fall from his horse, leaving the empire bereft of a rightful heir. In the absence of direct progeny, the mantle of imperial authority fell upon his sister, Morihatha, who ascended to the throne as empress, bearing the weight of imperial responsibility upon her shoulders. As she grappled with the challenges of governance, Empress Morihatha sought to usher in a new era of prosperity and stability for the empire, embarking on a series of ambitious initiatives aimed at strengthening its foundations and securing its borders. During her illustrious reign, Empress Morihatha commissioned the second edition of the Pocket Guide to the Empire, a comprehensive tome designed to provide updated information on the ever-evolving landscape of Tamriel. Published in the year 331, the revised edition served as a testament to the enduring legacy of imperial rule, chronicling the myriad changes and developments that had unfolded over the course of the past 3 centuries. Yet, even as the empire flourished under Morihatha's enlightened leadership, tragedy struck once more with the untimely demise of her twin sister, Eliza Septim, in the year 375. The loss of Eliza plunged the imperial court into mourning, casting a somber pall over the realm as it grappled with the specter of grief and loss. In the wake of Eliza's passing, Empress Morihatha's reign was tragically cut short by the malevolent hands of assassins, who struck her down in cold blood in the year 339. Despite vehement protests of innocence, Thoricles Romus, an Argonian counselor, was condemned for the regicide and met his end at the executioner's block, his protestations of innocence falling on deaf ears. In the aftermath of Morihatha's assassination, her nephew, the son of the late Eliza Septim, ascended to the imperial throne as Emperor Pelagius IV, inheriting a realm fraught with intrigue and uncertainty. As Pelagius IV grappled with the challenges of governance, the empire found itself at a crossroads, poised on the brink of a new era of change and upheaval. Meanwhile, in the scholarly halls of the University of the Gwillem Press, a groundbreaking work titled Frontier Conquest and Accommodation, A Social History of Cyrodiil was published in the year 344, shedding light on the complex interplay of social dynamics that shaped the cultural landscape of the heartland of the empire. This seminal work offered invaluable insights into the intricacies of imperial history, enriching our understanding of the forces that drove the expansion and consolidation of imperial power. In the secluded enclave of Hackdirt, nestled deep within the forests of Cyrodiil, a mysterious artifact known as the Bible of the Deep Ones was bestowed upon Erlav Moslin, the founder of the town, by the enigmatic chief of the Deep Ones. This arcane tome, steeped in eldritch lore and forbidden knowledge, whispered of dark secrets and ancient mysteries hidden beneath the surface of reality, its cryptic verses holding the key to untold power and peril. As the imperial court grappled with the fallout of Morihatha's assassination, the stage was set for the next chapter in the saga of Tamriel's history. In the year 346, the birth of Prince Uriel Septim II heralded the dawn of a new era for the empire, as the heir to the throne emerged into the world amidst the tumult of political intrigue and dynastic succession. Meanwhile, in the kingdom of Daggerfall, the future monarch Lysandus was born to Queen Malfarga and King Arslan II in the year 354, destined to play a pivotal role in the unfolding drama of regional politics and imperial affairs. At the same time, the hallowed halls of Waynon Prairie bore witness to the penning of the Book of the Dragonborn by Prior Emmeline Madrine, a scholarly treatise exploring the mythical origins and legendary exploits of the fabled Dragonborn. As the years passed and the wheel of fate turned inexorably onwards, the empire faced a series of trials and tribulations that tested its mettle and resilience. In the year 368, Emperor Pelagius IV breathed his last breath, passing the mantle of imperial authority to his young son, Uriel Septim II, who ascended to the throne at the tender age of 22. In the year 397 of the Third Era, the Arnesian War erupted, igniting the flames of conflict between the Argonians and the Dunmer. What began as a mere slave revolt in the southern reaches of House Drez territory soon escalated into a full-fledged war between Morrowind and Black Marsh, fueled by centuries of animosity and resentment. At the heart of the conflict lay the tragic death of Hororis, a Dunmer trader whose martyrdom at the hands of Argonian rebels served as a catalyst for the outbreak of hostilities. As Morrowind's legions clashed with the forces of Black Marsh, the fate of the region hung in the balance, with each side vying for supremacy over the contested lands. As the Arnesian War raged on, another conflict simmered beneath the surface, as the Bosmer and Khajiit continued to vie for dominance over the border territories of Valenwood. Following a fragile truce brokered between the warring factions, the Khajiit launched a series of devastating raids against the Bosmer settlements, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. From the smoldering ruins of Athe to the scorched earth of Grenos, the Khajiit unleashed their fury upon their Bosmer adversaries, plunging the region into chaos and despair. Amidst the chaos of war, the Bosmer survivors sought refuge within the ancient enclave of Vindizi, where they unleashed a fearsome wild hunt to repel the Khajiit invaders. In a frenzied orgy of bloodshed and carnage, the wild hunt laid waste to the Khajiit forces, decimating their ranks and driving them back across the Xylo River in a desperate bid for survival. Yet, even as victory seemed within their grasp, the Bosmer found themselves consumed by the very savagery they had unleashed, as the wild hunt turned upon itself in a grisly spectacle of cannibalistic frenzy, leaving Vindizi and its monstrous inhabitants in ruins. Meanwhile, the War of the Blue Divide erupted between the Somerset Isles and Valenwood, fueled by territorial disputes and long-standing grievances. As the Altmerry forces clashed with their Bosmerry counterparts, the verdant shores of Valenwood bore witness to the devastation wrought by the conflict, as harbors were razed and coastal settlements laid to waste. Despite the valiant efforts of the Bosmer defenders, the Somerset Isles emerged victorious, securing their claim to several strategic islands and crippling Valenwood's maritime capabilities in the process. In the northwest of Tamriel, the War of Bendramark erupted, pitting Skyrim against the forces of Hammerfell and High Rock in a struggle for territorial dominance. As Skyrim's legions swept across the eastern provinces, cities fell and borders shifted, reshaping the political landscape of the region and deepening the divide between Redguard factions. Yet, even as the flames of war engulfed the land, the city of Dragonstar stood as a testament to the folly of conflict, its divided populace locked in a bitter struggle for supremacy that would endure for decades to come. Amidst the turmoil of war, dark forces conspired to sow chaos and discord across the realm, as Joggerthon and Pergonasol forged the shadow of conflict, a sinister cabal bent on plunging Tamriel into darkness. Yet, even as their machinations threatened to tear the fabric of reality asunder, the indomitable spirit of the Eternal Champion rose to meet the challenge, thwarting their plans and rescuing Emperor Uriel Septim's Sept from the clutches of oblivion. As the dust settled and the echoes of battle faded into memory, the Bosmer-Khajiit War came to a bitter end, paving the way for a new era of peace and reconciliation between the two peoples. In the aftermath of the conflict, Orsinium emerged as a beacon of hope for the Orcish people, as Gortwag Gronagorm assumed leadership of the burgeoning nation and sought to forge a brighter future for his people. As the 5th century of the Third Era dawned, the shadows of darkness gathered once more, as Dagoth Uthal of the 6th House laid claim to the ancient fortress of Kogoron, using it as a bastion for his vile machinations. With blight storms raging and soul sickness spreading across the land, Tamriel stood on the brink of annihilation, its fate hanging in the balance as the forces of darkness marshaled their strength for the final confrontation yet to come. In the year 410 of the Third Era, the sinister machinations of the 6th House continued to spread, as bases were established in Narmak and Vivek City, extending their dark influence across the land. With each passing day, fear and uncertainty gripped the dissident priests of Morrowind, who found themselves targeted by the Temple's crusade to eradicate their beliefs. As tensions mounted, whispers of a looming conflict between the Temple and its detractors cast a shadow over the region, threatening to plunge Morrowind into chaos. In the year 414, King Lethlin of Morrowind made a fateful decision to revoke the Temple's long-standing ban on trade and settlement in Vardenfell, ushering in an era of unprecedented change and upheaval. As imperial colonists and Dunmer alike flocked to the once desolate island, drawn by the promise of wealth and opportunity, Vardenfell became a bustling hub of commerce and industry. Yet, beneath the surface, tensions simmered as the exploitation of valuable resources sparked conflicts and rivalries among the island's burgeoning population. By the year 415, the tendrils of the Sixth House had infiltrated every corner of Vardenfell, establishing cells in every town and village as they sought to further their insidious agenda. Meanwhile, amidst the chaos of the mainland, a momentous event unfolded that would reshape the very fabric of history itself: the activation of the Numidium and the subsequent warp in the west. In the aftermath of the warp in the west, the political landscape of Tamriel was forever altered, as the once fractured kingdoms of the Iliac Bay were consolidated into four powerful entities: Daggerfall, Sentinel, Wayrest, and Orsinium. Yet, even as peace descended upon the region, Morrowind found itself embroiled in a conflict of its own, as the tribunal gods Almalexia and Sotha Sil faced a dire threat from the minions of Dagoth Ur. As tensions between Morrowind and the Empire reached a boiling point, the Levitation Act was passed in the year 421, banning the use of levitation magic within imperial borders. Amidst the turmoil, dark forces conspired to sow discord and chaos, as Greywyn Blenwaith, a member of the Dark Brotherhood, sought to purge the organization of non-vampires, leading to the rise of the Crimson Scars. In the year 423, Corvus Umbranox, Count of Anvil and leader of the Thieves' Guild, vanished without a trace, leaving behind a legacy of mystery and intrigue. As the shadows of war loomed on the horizon, the Telvanni Council stood firm in defense of their rights, refusing to yield to imperial demands to curtail the slave trade. Amidst the chaos of war and political intrigue, a new hero emerged, the Nerevarine, who would defy prophecy and destiny to vanquish Dagoth Ur and restore peace to Morrowind. Yet, even as victory was won, the price of triumph weighed heavily upon the land, as the era of the tribunal gods came to a bitter end, marking the dawn of a new age of uncertainty and upheaval. As the Third Era drew to a close, the events of Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion unfolded, bringing with them the fall of the Septim Dynasty and the rise of a new hero, the Hero of Kvatch, who would defy fate itself to thwart the machinations of the mythic dawn and prevent the apocalypse. With the fate of Tamriel hanging in the balance, the Hero of Kvatch would face untold challenges and dangers, culminating in a showdown with the Daedric prince Mehrunes Dagon himself. And so, as the Third Era faded into memory, the stage was set for a new chapter in the annals of history, a chapter filled with uncertainty, danger, and untold adventures. As the dawn of the Fourth Era approached, the future of Tamriel hung in the balance, poised on the brink of a new age of heroes and legends.